So, Jill, I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about the link between well-being and food.
Yeah, there's some really good evidence to suggest that what we put into our bodies has a huge impact on how we think, how we feel, and how we behave. And that when we eat well and have a good range of nutrients in our body, it can really support mental health, mood, well-being, sleep, everything, and learning especially. And we're talking about learning a lot and how when you eat well, you can learn well. So yeah, it's a good link between the two, and it's not just the number of calories that's important, because often kids are getting plenty of calories, it's just not the right sort of calories, and they're often coming from junk food and very high fat and low nutrition food. The quality of the food is really important as well, so we need to make sure there's fruit and vegetables and grains, lean meat, poultry for those who eat meat, but fish and eggs, nuts and seeds and beans. And also milk, yogurt, cheese for the dairy side of things as well. It's really important to avoid too much fat, sugar and salt. The young people who have the unhealthiest diets are nearly 80% more likely to have depression than those who've got the healthiest diets. So there's a real link there between what you put in your body and how you're feeling.
So it's really important.
Yeah.
But not always easy. So how can I help my children?
Okay, so one thing to do is to be a positive role model. So if you're eating the right sort of things, then your children are growing up in an environment where that's important. I think another thing to do is actually maybe, if you think there's a difficulty, track what your children are actually eating, because sometimes you can think they're eating a load of rubbish and not eating enough good stuff, but when you actually write it down, you think, actually, no, we are covering a load of good food groups when you write it down. So you can actually keep a note of what's happening. Make sure there's lots and lots of water being drunk regularly, and water rather than even diet sodas and pops, because they're not great. Try and eat a rainbow. That can be a fun activity with younger children, to make sure you're eating all different coloured foods. And if you're already doing that, maybe try and introduce one extra fruit or vegetable in every meal. And the other thing is to avoid food rewards, because often we use ice creams, puddings, chocolate as a way to say well done, and society does that all the time. And also to comfort, oh dear, you've fallen over, chocolate button will make it better. So if we can try and stop doing those and have different ways to reward our children, or commiserate, if something's happened, then that would be a good thing. Also try and establish a really regular eating pattern, so that you're making sure you're having regular meals and little snacks in between if required. When kids get to teenage, you just can't fill them up. I don't know about your teenagers, but you can feed them and half an hour later they want some more food. But having a really regular pattern, that really helps the body to know when it's meal times, when to be hungry, and to spread the nutrition throughout the day. And make sure there's a variety of foods, so you're not just eating the same things all the time, which can be very tricky to get into if you've got children a bit fussy about what they eat.
Yeah.
So again, maybe write down the things that they eat and try to just increase the number of different sort of foods, because it's variety that's really important as well.
Okay, thank you.